Jerry, long time, but good to have you back on the program.
Yeah, always great to talk with you, Travis.
Okay, Jerry, wanted to check in with you on a couple of guys that we talked to you about a lot leading up to this 2017-2018 college basketball season with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Obviously, want to start with Collin Sexton. I'm going to run some of his season numbers by you to date, and you tell
All right.
me if he's on schedule, ahead of schedule, maybe a little behind schedule in some of these. Okay, in terms of three-point shooting, he's shooting 47% from the field. 47% from the field. He's actually shooting 47% from the field overall. He's a 76% free throw shooter. He's averaging 21.8 per game and 3.3 assists per game. Do those numbers sound about right for where you would have envisioned Collin Sexton at this point in his freshman season?
Yes. I think those would have been good lines. I think the 3-point percentage is a little higher than I would have expected. At 21.8, I mean, if anything, he's ahead of schedule. Let's put it that way. But obviously, I'm a big proponent of Collin Sexton's game and Collin as a player. So it not at all surprises me. I probably would have guessed around those ranges. I looked at his stats a little bit. What about taking 10 free throws a game?
Yeah.
That's one of the most amazing aspects of his game. I think the stat was so crazy. He shot 180 more free throws over the summer than anyone else in the Nike EYBL. It was something. It's an absurd number, and he made more than anyone else took. Any one individual player took, but just what a dynamic player, dynamic game, and really plays on the edge and plays with a fervor that you don't see that often today in basketball.
So given those intangibles that you've talked to us about a lot, his competitive nature,
right.
Were you surprised when you caught wind of the 3-on-5 versus situation against Minnesota?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, Collin thrives for stuff like that. I mean, he likes the spotlight, and that's what great players are like that. I mean, the ones I love, the ones that I think can get you championships, are often they play on the edge. They play on that red line, and they can go, they can do things that seem odd at times, or, I wouldn't do that, or they're not conservative enough. And then you get an opportunity to show out in front of the country 3-on-5. Collin Sexton probably dreams about that. He wants a challenge, and he's not afraid to embrace the moment. So, heck no, it sounded like a perfect chapter for the story in his book.
Now, another guy that was highly rated coming in here, John Petty, really mirroring Collin in terms of minutes. They're both at just a tad more than 29 minutes per game. Petty shooting about 42% from three. He's averaging 12.3 per game. 38% from three, 42% from the field overall. 12.3 per game. Does that sound about right to you for John Petty as a freshman?
Yeah. It sounds right to me. I mean, I don't know if I have a really good angle on this one.
Well, let me ask you this.
Those numbers sound pretty solid. I'm sure he'd like to get a little more rebounding, but I'm looking at the team stats along with you here.
Mm-hmm.
And you got some balance in that lineup, So, yeah, I mean, I think John's doing a fine job about what I'd expect numbers-wise.
How about this, Jerry? 77 of his 104 field goal attempts this season have come from three. Does that sound about right?
That's a little surprising. I would not have expected that many. Didn't he have that huge game where he hit a bunch of threes?
Hit 10,
in the news a lot. That's a lot. I didn't quite expect all the threes. But I mean that's natural. If you can shoot them, and as you move up in the game from high school to college to the NBA, the court spreads out more. You got to shoot from further out, and so just fitting into the system But when he played in high school, you know, I would have considered him, you know, he shot threes, made threes, but he's more of a slasher.
Jerry, I got to ask you about these true freshman posts, man, what we're seeing in the college game. I know you've seen them and covered them. How does this group stack up? I mean, when you talk about Bagley and you talk about Ayton and Bamba, is this even for what we've seen in the last 10 years, how does it compare to what's come into the college game?
You know, man, I haven't crunched the numbers specifically, but off the top of my head, it would be hard for me to imagine a freshman class of big men better. You know, it's really odd how it was all about the point guards last year, and that was an unbelievable crop of freshman point guards, you know, / combo guards, and now these big guys, you know, and we're not, you know, Brandon McCoy, DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley at the top, but then, I mean, like, look at the success Arizona State's having, and Romello White's been successful there, a guy from the Southeast. He went out to Arizona State. Wendell Carter at Duke's, no slack, you know, no slouch of a player. And we hardly hear of him because of Bagley, but some unbelievably good big men. And we haven't even mentioned Mohamed Bamba, who's averaging around 4 block shots a game at Texas.